We're
What
there.
is going on, crew? We are so there. Coming at you live from the Toyota Tacoma in beautiful Coronado, California.
Yes, sir.
Uh, Hi, everybody. I have loved chatting with you already this morning. Um, we had a good one in here, Dad, from Conscious. Um, Love and gracious blinding light. I hope that finds you, everybody. Like this wealth and management of wealth that we all talk about. I hope it finds you like a lost puppy.
Right.
Dad, how you doing? You
Well,
survived the yacht party. Congratulations.
yes, I'm a little exhausted,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm doing a whole lot better than my internet. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know what's going on with it. It's sort of crazy. I like 4 bars, 5G. It's like, well, everything should be good, and it's not happy. But so I may go in and out. But yes, I am dandy.
Mm-hmm.
A little worse for wear. I feel a couple of years older from the last 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
It's also hectic putting it all together, And
Oh
then
yeah.
when it comes together and the DJ starts bumping, and it was like 5 hours of DJ techno, you know, loud grind. You're like, oh,
Uh-huh.
the beautiful sound of silence when the music starts. It was fun. Don't get me wrong. It was a lot of fun hearing it, but at the end of it, you're like, oh, everybody's ready to go home, and we had a really cool cruise home. Just chilling with just the boss and I and his girlfriend, and it was just relaxing coming home, and it was really fun. But
That's
it's
awesome.
been you know how it is. It's boating, man. It's good fun. Yep, a lot of work. I still have work to do. So
Yes. Yeah. That is
never
so much
ends.
yachting, everybody. It's preparation and cleanup
Yeah,
and more preparation and even more cleaning.
and if you know somebody who owns a boat and they invite you on their boat, please, whatever you do, offer to help at the end of the day. I know you're drunk or you're been in the sun all day and you're not feeling like it. If you want to get invited back to the person's boat, you really help them clean up at the end of the day, because that's really, they don't feel like doing it either. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's key if you want to get invited back. Uh, uh yeah, yeah, weird. Everybody's saying you're blurry. So what? Whatever. Yeah,
Oh,
take them and you
dude.
get them.
Oh, I know what's going on.
What do you got,
I got this.
Robin? What do you got happening there?
Swab might want to plug his internet jack into his computer here.
Oh, hey, there's a concept.
Brilliant. I've been working on my computer downstairs,
Oh,
doing
okay, yeah.
all this crew type stuff that we are so excited to share with all of you.
It's all going, isn't
I
it?
wrote down so much stuff that you and I have been talking about, but a few things really jumped out, Dad, and that was one was teaching and onboarding. Like, Dad and I are having the conversations now. Um, like you said in your last video, like, or at this end, we are approaching the point in the equation of when to get out and how. And what we're looking at is, right, this whole time with crypto, we're all trying to buy with vision in mind, the future. And like something you said in your last video, and I wrote this down too. I was like, sell with tax advantages.
Yeah.
And so everything that we're studying and the conversations that my dad and I are having about the future for the channel and like our careers, like the part of it that's, that we really want to put the work into is
Yeah.
onboarding and teaching. And if we find all these advantages and some loopholes and some, what we're really striking gold on is finding people who are just geniuses in their field, you know,
Right.
and like you saw in Dad's videos recently, like going and meeting those people, and we're trying to form partnerships with the
Yeah.
people that we trust, like Simon, and make sure that we've built this group that's going to work really hard to make sure that all of you have the opportunities that we're trying to create for ourselves. And I our last conversation, Dad, was one of my favorites because it's all about that. And I get to hear our fearless leader, even more so than ever, is just how much I believe in you to help us lead this thing that direction. And the work that you're putting into it, for all of us, for me and the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
And so it's getting really fun to have that vision, and what all we can kind of try to work on, all these different economic tools and understanding the law surrounding them,
Hmm.
and how we can create advantages for
That's right.
each of us, it depending in our own situations too. Because we're all different, we're all making different amounts of money, we all have different assets, um, and so it's going to be, we're going to have to help personalize, um, and that's part of the teaching process, and that'll be part of what we have to learn, is how to work with everybody and present them with the right opportunity versus
That's
just
right.
chucking it all out here on the internet. And we've all run into stuff that we didn't need, or we bit off more
Right.
than we could chew. And so
Yeah.
I'm
That's
excited about all that, man. I'm pumped.
yeah. It's so key because we've all we studied our tails off about crypto. We just really know the subject really well.
Mhm,
And some of us are a little further along, not in the knowledge necessarily of the coins or what they're going to do, in the sense that they've been in a, let's just use XRP because it's really easier for us to use that coin. It We know all the banks, we know the system, we get that every day. I mean, we get that with great channels such as like Brad Kimes and DAI and Zach, and whether you like any of those people or you have somebody else, they're really a news feed. And that news feed is keeping us up to date. But
mhm,
eventually it gets to the point where it's like, okay, I need somebody not unlike Alan, who's been part of when the internet came to the USA. Okay,
mhm,
not when when Wi-Fi came to the USA, when cell phones really busted out. All of those are networks that were created that I watched evolve, as many of us in this chat did, right? We all watched that evolve. Well, some people took notes of that and how it unfolded
mhm,
so that they can see the future of the next thing that's going to unfold, just like, wireless or whatever else came along. I remember voice over internet was a big thing, guys. It was only text. It couldn't speak on the internet. It couldn't keep up. It couldn't file all those little packets and send them out to make noise. Well, you have the product. You've studied the product. Most of us have been in XRP for at least 2 or 3 years if you're on this channel.
mhm.
And you've studied it up to your eyebrows. And
Yeah.
but what I'm talking about is you got that. You understand it. Okay, you can watch a news channel occasionally and catch up to what the news stuff is. But eventually you get to the point where it's like, okay, how much can I study Wi-Fi? I mean, I own
Right.
it. I own the Wi-Fi. What else do I
Mhm.
need to know about XRP? The relationships. Oh, here's another bank, and here's another bank, and here's B of A, and here comes PNC Bank, and all these big banks, and China's going to adopt it. All of that is more knowledge that you already have, and it's like getting to the point, the threshold of like, I've got all that. Now what? Now where are we going? What did the people that prosper from wireless internet and all those networks prior to this? How did they do it? What did they do? What happened when they made wealth? Did they keep it? Or did those people have to wait for the next innovation to come along to capitalize again? You don't want to have to do that.
No.
And that's really key to what we're doing here is it's time for you to no longer be the researcher. It's time for you to understand what you own and treat it like a business, like a company. We're building private companies. We are also going to join our little companies together and transact with each other and where it's necessary and where it's opportunistic. And we will do all that together. But you need a rock solid foundation of what you own, the way you own it, and where it's going. You kind of got where it's going. You know you're going to do well with these coins. But it's time that okay, what else does a business do? Well, it has to pay its taxes. It has to employ people. It has to negotiate with other people and other systems. You're now that business. I talk about it on this channel all the time. You're you're not just a speculator. You're not just an investor. You're an owner.
Mm.
Because when you own those coins, you own the company, you own the product and the company and everything because it's just the software that you own. There is no magic, you know, CEO behind any of it. Sure, there's a CEO behind Ripple, but there's not under your XRP coin. That's
Yeah.
you. You're that corporation and you're that company. And you need to really start looking at it and thinking about it like that because the opportunity for generational wealth could just be a lump sum of money. And then what? You're going to give it away,
Yeah.
like the chili peppers say. Be all right. Just give it away now,
Give it
right?
away
That's what you're going
now.
to that's what you're going to do with it. And it's not
Yeah.
maybe. And then unless you have protected yourself or have other assets coming in or your assets are working for you, you're just going to go broke doing it. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the fight against legalized taxation. I used to kind of in
Correct.
my head a little bit think that this whole thing was just going to be a war. It's like, how are the people going to hang on to it? How are we going to, you know, how are we going to get out ahead of the governments and corporations and systems that are going to just try to inflate their currency and soak it all up? Can we get people ahead of that? And I think we're way past that. There's probably 9 out of 10 people that don't even know what we're talking about. So it's like what you're talking about, Dad. I think is just it. It's becoming a good manager of
Hmm.
what you own, and because of the nature of blockchain itself, it's like one of the main perks of it. It's not stock.
That's right.
It's not this fictitious number, keep going, don't know what number is. It's not. The nature of the ledger is why it's so
Right.
safe and why you can own it. And
Yeah.
what I'm starting to learn in studying all this stuff, we're studying trusts and we're studying the IBC and we're um, studying all these different tools. We've all kind of scienced. A lot of us have gotten in on the trading bot. Um, being knowing what you're doing, um, and treating it like a business, like you're saying, is just so wise to do. Um,
Mhm.
and then you can, you can try to start to have some vision and see ahead. of what's coming, instead of, like you were saying, just following the news of what's happening today and just speculating on tomorrow. It's like, no, dude, I'm the CEO of this. This is what I'm doing. And there's just going to be so much opportunity
That's
with
right. Yeah.
money and technology in the future and how it's going to change, that it's just
Yeah.
going to be the land of opportunity for people like all of us who we geek out on this stuff.
I said this to the people that thank you all for showing up to in the Panhandle. It was an incredible time. We all got to meet each other, and it was just brilliant. Great stuff. Teresa, I'm going to try and give you a call. Maybe call me tomorrow. I'm going to be on the road. I just saw her post in here. Um, so what I noticed, what most of us have noticed, is we got into crypto originally so that we kind of like had a better money. It started with Bitcoin, and then other coins have come along, and we have a better transfer of money and whatnot. Okay, we know all that stuff. We got all that. But what was it really about? It was really about personal freedoms from the banking system, right? So when you finally reach a point where monetarily you have enough money to fund your banking or your life in a free manner, how do you learn to be free now? And Wayne had a great point in here a couple times. It's when you understand the personal responsibility that you have to avoid taxation, which has been, way over the top to all of us, and not just taxation, what it means to be a free person and freedom. And we talked about at the weekend in Florida. The biggest point that I really wanted everybody to understand was you don't have to move to El Salvador or Costa Rica. It's time you got free in your own country. And there's ways to do it. I've been watching the wealthy do it for 30 years. It's not complicated. It's education. And when you educate yourself on what you own and why you own it and who's trying to take it from you,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is a great point I was talking with some people about that. Okay, essentially we all know that taxation, okay, is it is the problem, right? But when they inflate things, they inflate it in the manner of taxing you. Now, let me backtrack. Okay, they want to spend $200 billion in Ukraine or wherever they want to spend it. And they know that the people, they're not going to get the votes, or they'll get voted out of office if they just tell everybody that you're going to have to pay for this in taxes, higher taxes to do this. So what they have to do is they have to print these digits. We all know the story, but they create these digits, which is inflationary, but it's taxing. It's because of that tax that you and I haven't approved of. Okay. So how do they get that money back out of you? They get it back out of you with capital gains tax, right? So they say, okay, well, we can't tax the poor because the poor are screaming already. And the poor didn't understand they needed to own assets. And if they didn't own assets, they couldn't keep up with inflation. Well, the people that prospered from inflation were the people of the assets. So now we have to come after the capital gains asset tax to get the money back that they printed.
Mm-hmm.
See the loop? It's just
Yep.
a big loop, right? And what
Yep.
you need to do is get your tail out of the loop. That's what you
Yep.
got to do. And the more you understand about the loop and how it works, and how what they're doing is printing money, extracting money, getting the money back, printing money, extracting money. And it's this endless 4-year business cycle that they're in. Well, this time, when you're on the profitability side of the asset, after your 4-year business cycle is peaking, we already know interest rates are dropping. They're going to flood the market with digits again because we're at the bottom of the labor market. What's going to happen to you is you're going to say, okay, this time I'm not going to get caught out in the rain. Whatever I do decide to sell of my coins, I know what to do with them. I know where to put them. I know where to store them. I know how to avoid 44% there. capital gains tax, and they're talking about unrealized capital gains tax of 25%. This is absurdity. This is taking that inflation back from you, from the wealthy, and giving it to whoever. It's your money. You made it. You already paid tax on it. You paid tax on it before you invested it. Now that you invested it, they want to, you profited. You had to pay your broker, the Coinbase or whatever the commission was. And then now they want their cut again. It's double taxation. We need to avoid it. Doesn't mean you're un-American. It means you want to live freely in a country that was built upon freedom. And it's empowering. It's empowering yourself is all you're doing. And I hear this a lot. 70-year-old men, 60, 70-year-old men who I get on the phone, essentially my age, right? Who are saying, well, I don't know what I got to learn. I don't have that many years left. Well, you have 20 years left at compounding interest and paying no capital gains tax. That's at least 20 years left of wealth that you could generate to leave for somebody else. But bigger than that, you learned to empower yourself financially. That's an invaluable tool today. I just spent a day and a half with people who are very wealthy people. You can't be in this club unless you have a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. It's a car club. They're very wealthy people.
Yeah.
Do you think they know anything about what we're talking about in this chat right now?
No.
They don't. They hire an accountant. What is the accountant trained as? He's trained as an IRS agent. I'm not kidding you. That's who they are. That's how they've been trained. Why? Because there's 74,000 pages in the IRS code and our taxation code. Nobody could know all that. So if an accountant wants to stay in business, he has to conform to those rules. What we're trying to do is we're trying to step out and say, let me get creative. Let me understand how I can do this legally for me and my family and teach my children to, they don't have to work half as hard to keep that more money. I mean, what a blessing. It's just, it's so key. Yeah.
That was the geniuses that I'm referencing to, is just the people who have taken the time to go outside the box and do that very thing. And it like Travis had a good point. It's tax avoidance, and that's a lot different than evasion.
Totally.
Tax avoidance is you're doing what the wealthy are doing. You're smart. You're working with people who are geniuses in that one field, and they built their entire business off doing that one idea, that one thing. If I get this right, then I can get out of the loop.
That's right. Yeah.
And
you're going to make, what is that? 25 to 40% more annually on your money. Just crazy. Compound that a couple of years. It's highly, because now you've learned how to invest. Now you know where the world's going. You've probably got a ton of coins that are going to be very good. And I want to address this. I got a lot of flack on the last video when I kept talking about selling. There's this big movement now, particularly with XRP. There's a lot of people out there saying, "Oh, well, you're giving people advice to sell all their coins. This is the biggest mistake they can make." No. I'm not saying sell all your coins, but if you can sell 25 or 50% of your coins and it alters your life, it changes your life in a manner that, let's say you are my age, early 60s or late 50s, and you can get your dream. Like I saw Becky in here wants to grow cherries and Flathead Lake. Yeah, hello, perfect. She can do that. That's empowering people's lives. How many years do we have left? We don't know, right? So live for now. Don't always just, I'm going to keep all my coins forever. Now, honestly, I don't think you should have to sell any more than 50% of those coins, but a lot of people might. But I would never suggest selling all of your coins. So I just wanted to clear that up because I got a lot of comments about that. Everybody's saying, don't ever sell any coins. And I'm like, well, right now, that's a good play for Bitcoin. Maybe
Mhm.
I'm not. I'm not sure about that with XRP yet. But life changing sales of a product you bought to change your life is why we're doing this.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the way I see it. Yeah.
I think our creative conversations between each other, Dad, are that it's what the 50% that we all end up keeping. You know, we're the
That's
owners
right.
of this particular crypto.
Yeah.
How to incentivize that and leverage it and use it so that we can generate more, so that we can generate more ability. And how do we all these other things that we're all trying to do and tools that we're trying to implement, how do we unlock the features of each one of them so that they commingle and we can again dive under the loophole, the wave that's coming to like smash us.
Right.
No, we shouldn't be paying 40% in taxes,
No.
guys. Like we all need to
No.
get real creative here and figure out how to do this wisely.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
I think we're all of us are the team to do that. I know
Yes.
that you
Agreed.
the way you all have inspired us. Like I was writing this down, like something to think about in the future too, because there's some topics and there's some things that are just boring. You know, maybe we've just gone so far down the rabbit hole of XRP and the news and all that. It's like, well, okay,
Hmm.
like you said, Dad, what do I really need to know? What do I have really left to learn? Um, on the researching side, you know, gaining this wisdom and how to get out of the loopholes. What are you passionate about researching? What are you passionate about doing? And it's so cool because like we're working with all these other people who are inspiring. And I think that's part of it. It's like how can you help inspire others to
Hmm.
where this thing gets really fun? I can't
Yeah.
wait to manage this thing. I can't wait to use all these different tools.
Yeah.
Uh,
I.
I can't wait to specialize in something, and maybe I can. That's what I do for my job. That instead of my 9 to 5 that I got right now, I end up specializing in something that's going to help us.
Yeah.
And I
I.
encourage all of you to do that and think about that. Um, that's what Alan and I are cooking on,
Yeah.
and a lot of the people in this chat.
That's
Um,
right.
and I'm thankful for that.
There,
Thankful to be a part
somebody
of it.
somebody said, I'm sorry, I don't remember what channel it was, and but somebody had posted in there that um, somebody was giving advice. I don't know. I don't. I don't know how else to say it other than say giving advice to people, or giving people a strategy, I should say, or teaching people about reverse mortgages. There was a post in there, and I understand that. Trust me, that's not the end of the world. It got a really bad name, and there was a lot of people that actually abused that thing to some degree. But it could fit for a lot of people. But when you understand IBC, you don't need to do that. You don't
Mhm.
need to lose the rights of your home for your generations after you, or the value of the asset. You don't have to do that. If you understand this IBC, this infinite banking concept that we're teaching or helping people learn, you won't look at that again and go, "Oh, well, that's the way I should do it. Is just slowly spend the capital that I've earned in my real estate over the rest of my life." I don't think that's a play. I really don't. But I might be
Mhm.
wrong. I'm willing to learn anybody else. But when you ask me what I really want to, what I'm studying right now, well, I'm really kind of, I stay relevant with the IBC, and I'm really studying the trust right now. but I'm kind of the next step guy. So I'm kind of the next step out, and I'm studying some things right now. I don't want to confuse anybody because I don't really want to talk about it because it'll bring up a whole new thing and everybody's going to want to know about that. And I really want everybody to catch up with IBC, understand what it is, understand maybe it's not for you. Maybe if you're not
Mhm.
good at balancing a checkbook, or if you're not good with money, and it's you don't care to know what money's coming in and what money's coming out. You just want to make more money, and okay, I'll just live my life without knowing all the rest of the details. Then IBC is not for you. But
Yeah.
if you want to keep your capital gains, and I mean all of them, then a trust sounds like something you might want to look into. And if you get a 10 XRP, they're going to come get their capital gains tax from you. So that's something you may want to look into, which is something we're doing. But when I study new things, I think of it in the mindset of generational. You know me, Brian. I've always talked about it. I always think in terms of what I'm going to leave Brent, or
Mhm.
where are we going to be? What are we going to do? What's going to be residual income? How do I create residual income? How do I keep going? I can't do YouTube channels forever. We don't even make any money on this channel, to be honest, with anybody. We we make a little bit, but I mean it's not enough to even. It's crazy. But
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I don't want a big channel. That's not where I'm here. I'm
No.
here to help educate while I learn. And that's really been fun. So whenever I learn or hear something new or a different twist on how to use IBC, or a different twist on how to use a trust, that's really what I go down that road. I'm like, okay, perfect. That's what I really want to get into. So
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
We had this
this
one from a professor dad on that note. I can't say enough how excited I am to teach this to my children, changing their lives from the get go. Yeah.
it truly is that powerful. Once you get this concept, you will eventually never need a bank again. And you will be able to create the terms in which you borrow money and pay the money back. It's so
Mhm.
powerful. Think how big that is. Think how big that is. I get to
It's not
borrow
big,
all the
it's
money.
smart.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey, Cormac,
Um,
thank you so much. Love Ireland. Cannot wait to go back.
yeah,
I'm going back to Ireland in my life. I just want to drive around and see the country.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Um, what do we got in the chat down here?
a lot of love today. Thank you so much,
Yeah, I
everyone.
love that.
Man,
Do you guys provide any service to learn the IBC system? I really want to learn this stuff. I think it would be help me. Um, Uncle Cam, Tuesday nights, Simon and I, and eventually Brent will hang around there too. Tuesday nights, we do a thing called IBC. Uh, what do we change the name to? Group
uh, it went IBC University to, is it study group?
study group. Is that right?
Anyway,
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah, man, my mind is fried.
I don't even
I
know.
was up late.
I was like, you guys renamed it? What?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Love it.
We had to, because let me tell you the story. Yeah, there you go, Simon. Thanks. It's going to be yeah, ibcstudygroup.com is eventually going to be the site, but the channel every Tuesday night. The beautiful part about this is we went to meet the people who are the descendants of the man who wrote the book, the son-in-law and the daughter, and they were so gracious with their time, and they gave me so much time, and I the interview's coming, a couple of them.
Cool.
And yeah, it's going to be great. I can't wait for you guys. One of them's very technical and it really getting into the man and how it got created, and the other one's just kind of family, and they're both great. We went we went down the road of trying to get the permission. I went there as humbly as possible and say, what do you not want me to do? What can I not say? I don't want to offend the family or the man, or I'm going to give total homage and respect to R. Nelson Nash, who wrote this brilliant, life-changing book. And they were like, okay, well, listen, this and that. And I'm pretty sure I asked him, or Simon did, one of the two of us. And I asked him, I said, what do you think about, you know, IBC University? And it's not like he said, that's absolutely, you got to throw that out. That's just ridiculous. His point was that's implies that you are the institution, which is IBC, or which is Nelson Nash's institute, and we're not.
Right.
We're just
Right.
simply teaching the book, and we're teaching how to use the concepts in the book. But I'm even like, teaching the concept and teaching the book is one thing. What I'm doing is I'm taking it to the next step, because how my financial creative mind would use the money in which you would borrow or lend to yourself for profitability and residual income. That's my focus. That's where I'm at. Yeah. So we were total respectful, and he was like, hey, essentially he asked us to change the name, and I was like, whatever. He said, we can use IBC. It's not copyrighted. So we came up with that. So look for us on Tuesday night. You can learn more about the concepts of it. You really need to read the book. It's not a complicated book. It's an easy book.
It's such an easy book, and it's just loaded.
Powerful. Yeah. It's powerful for explaining what the system's doing to us all. That was its empowering part for me. Yeah.
It helped me relearn. The first 30 pages just helped me relearn how to view business and how to view efficiency, and kind of spinning your monkey brain back around to being a good manager of those things. And just really beautifully written. And then when he dives in to IBC hardcore, page 35-ish, it's just, I can't read it enough. I can't. I will have read that book probably 10 times in my life. Yeah, please grab a copy, everybody. We're gonna be talking about that one for quite some time. Uncle Cam's gonna be in there on Tuesdays. Love it, Uncle Cam. Yeah, I think you and Simon have just done an incredible job, Dad, and that you guys, jumped on a plane and got over there and made that meetup happen is so cool. That's really all we want to do, guys. That's what we want to do. Like, learn about this stuff, get out of the loophole, and go hang out, talk about that and everything else with you guys. And I can't wait. I can't wait.
Okay, Uncle Cam, did you order the Become Your Own Banker? That's the book we're talking about. Yeah. Simon, can you put that title in the link down there?
Where'd my copy go?
There it is.
This little baby right here.
You're kind of blurry there.
I'm blurry today. These are the Cubans, baby. These are the Cohibas. This is the Monte Cristo.
The Cohibas right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm more of a Monte Cristo guy, but yeah. Whichever your flavor.
Too much of a. It's too much dry turd for me. Thanks,
Camel
man,
droppings.
thanks for the love, boss. Does the book come in Audible? Great question, Clark. Have to look that up. Let's see.
Yeah. Okay. Jason, on Tuesday night, we'll answer those kind of questions. So it's kind of more of we're less technical today. Besides,
it
my
comes in
mind is about half gone.
it comes in audible, but honestly, you just have to look at the pages. There's charts breaking down, the strategy of investing in it long term. And I think you just need to sit there and chew on it and look at the
Yeah,
numbers. It's it gets into that, it ends with that, and it's like, okay, this
yeah,
is this is why I'm doing this. Got it.
yeah.
The
Wait,
B
at
man is
the
the worry man. Oh no.
blurry man.
Why is this happening to me?
Yeah, I couldn't even get mine to connect, and mine's clear as a bell. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
But
you've never looked this clear.
so we have a every time you come across something that empowers you, many of us we just spend a couple of minutes, or you go down the rabbit hole and you don't do anything about it. Execution is key here, guys. This isn't something where you just buy some, life and mutual life insurance. Oh, okay, I'm good now. Now I got it. I got that. I set that over in the corner. No, you use this. You use this like a checking account, like a bank, like
Mm-hmm.
you are the bank. And to understand the math in that, you really have to have the book, because there's so many charts and so many graphs that the Audible is really good, because I love listening to stuff. It allows me to do stuff, and I like to work while I'm listening to concepts. And some people really are able to do two things at once and listen to something and do something else and retain it. But for me, I had to really look at the charts a lot, and they made more sense when you saw how the numbers slowly just progressed, and you were like, "My God, it's so powerful," because it's compounding. You know, it's
Yeah.
really key. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, Northern yeah, Dad wasn't the only one up late, uh, you know, involved in a dance party. I too was out enjoying a good time. There's nothing like dancing with friends and hearing music that you grew up with. It's a good time.
Atlantic Living. We could talk about that Tuesday night. That'd be great to have you in there. Um, but there's things you can do. I'm not an insurance agent, so but I know a couple of people that are, and a couple of people that are trying to become them, because they see how powerful this tool is. And I was like, as soon as like, when you know people who are like accountants and bankers and lawyers, I've met two lawyers now, well, over the phone, two lawyers now that they do this instead of their law practice. That's how
Mhm.
powerful this is, guys.
Yeah.
It's constant. And my wife's an attorney, and she took to it just like that. She's like, "Wow, this is unbelievable!" Like, and she's a long ways from what I would call an economic minded individual. She's more legally minded, and she's wanting to get involved with how empowering this is for people. So it's really cool.
Mhm. That is cool.
Uh,
Doreen's on page 21. Give
yeah,
y'all a taste. Page 21 is creating your own banking system through dividend paying life insurance.
correct. It is
It's
compounding.
where it starts cooking, Doreen.
Yeah,
Keep going.
I want to. Yeah, it's so good. Page, I think it's 41 through 45. That story is just done.
Yeah.
That was my light bulb moment.
Hmm.
But I want to today. I want to really mention something too, because I don't want this whole thing to be an IBC class. That's what we do Tuesday. We honestly, we're on there 2 hours, or as long as you people keep asking questions, we'll do it, right?
Hmm.
But I really wanted to talk about something that kind of came up the other day. And when I heard from a friend of mine that, "Hey, Alan, did you hear what happened with B of A?" And I was like, "No, what happened with B of A?" And I was like, oh, they're already coming out and saying, yeah, we're with Ripple. And I thought, well, I haven't heard anybody else say that. And then that same person sent me Brad Kine's show this morning, and I listened to it. And it was like, really, I was like, wow, that's big, guys. Because if you can get B of A admitting to the public that they're actually using this because the clarity of the case is behind us, wow, this is going to really take off, guys. I mean, Simon and I have been talking about this for a year and a half. Brent and I have been talking about it for 5 years, I think. And
Mhm.
it's really coming to this fall, in my opinion. It's going to be somewhere between like end of October. You're really going to see it. Maybe sooner, probably September, because they're going to start, dumping interest rates. But that's just going to be the start, and it's just going to flood through next year. That does not mean the economy is going to be good, and that does not mean people aren't going to be losing their jobs. It does mean what I said earlier in the video, which is people who have assets are going to crush it, and that would be you. And I think they know it. I think they see it. I think they understand the business cycles and the wealth that it's going to generate. And that's why they're all over this capital gains tax. And now I'm not trying to panic anybody or anything like that, but you need to get your thinking cap on about what you're going to do about it. And either find a really good crooked CPA. Oh, I didn't mean crooked. I meant a guy really good at saving you money, or you find yourself. Uh, I may not have said that intentionally. You need to find somebody who's on your side. And
Yeah.
we don't give tax advice. We're not tax people. I'm not that. But
Mhm.
you can find ways to get around the taxation of your capital gains fairly easily. That's another thing we'll cover on Tuesday nights. We may have to start a whole nother night just for trusts. I don't know. Brent, maybe you and I go down that road. But
Yeah, I'm getting
we'll,
pretty excited about that road too.
yeah. And then we'll have to see where we're at that point. But
Mhm.
when okay, this is what the point I want to make about that. When an institution, see what nobody really wanted to do, people don't understand this. BlackRock is not an institution. It's bigger than that. It's a conglomerate, okay? And it's essentially funded by some letter agencies. I'll just go there.
Yeah.
And that is bigger than an institution, in my opinion. Verbiage is outside the window here. What I'm saying is, if you're a corporation and an institution, you don't want to hang your hat on Bitcoin or XRP or whatever. I knew the first thing they would do as soon as they could get legal clarity was hang their hat on Ripple, because Ripple is 900 employees and da 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 da. And they negotiate all around the world. And Ripple went through the lawsuit. Let's remember, Apple went through a lawsuit. Amazon went through a lawsuit. It's like a rite of passage. If you don't get hammered by the system, and what's really happening behind the doors, and I'm just going to give you this because you already probably know, but you might want to hear it again. You might have forgotten it. What goes on behind the scenes is bigger than what happened to the guy with the robe and the whole judgment and Miss Taurus, right?
Mhm.
What really happened is the negotiations that happen in the back room with corporations. And it's like, well, I'm not willing to give you that much. I'm not willing to give you that. I'm not doing that. We have this incredible product called XRP, and we're not going to just hand it over to you. We're not doing it. We're going to fight you on this. And
Yeah.
that's why the court case happened. It wasn't just a stall. It was a stall, but it was
Mhm.
also, we want ours. You're going to go free reign on the global market of transfer of money. We want ours. Where's our squeeze? We win, where's the cut? We're the system. You got to pay the system. And that's really where we're at. We're at the point where they've already negotiated all that. And now they're getting to the point where a corporation or an institution, an institutional banking, traditional banking is willing to put one of the largest banking institutions, well, one of the largest in North America for sure, B of A, on a title next to where it says I own XRP or I own Bitcoin. Like they're falling like flies, right? I mean, if you just look at the fundamental news in the last 2 to 3 months, it's unbelievable the corporations that have fallen to the point, oh, well, that company, now this company, now Merrill Lynch, now this company, now Hong Kong, and all of this fundamental news is coming to light. But when the North American bank, the size of B of A, and by the way, the other one that's being mentioned too is we have a friend of ours, Brent and I have a friend of ours that worked for PNC Bank years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And she was telling me not long ago that, oh yeah, they're big players, and they're doing all this, and they're really into tech. And she didn't know a lot about it, but she was like telling me that's going to happen, Alan, like all of this. So it was kind of interesting to hear from her. But those two banks, if they put their name on something like Ripple, it's out the door, guys. It's done. We're done from that point on. Then it's a matter of like what happened on the news. Somebody sent me a clip, I think it was CNBC, said, oh yeah, no, yeah, we're buying all those coins. What? They had a representative of Goldman Sachs on there go, oh yeah, we're buying all them coins. Yep. And I'm like, when they tell the financial channels to get your tail in there, the wave's coming. The wave is not far off.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I keep looking over here because these kids are playing volleyball in the street. I'm just thinking it's going to come off my windshield here any second. But nice. you know how refreshing it is to see kids playing in the street with a ball?
Oh, it's the best.
It's the best. Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Let's keep that around.
Right.
Let's get to the chat here. I thought Vincent had a great question. I want to make sure we got to it. What is a good business to start based around cryptocurrency? Thanks, fellas. Let's volleyball that one down.
As far as residual income, or as far as like what? I first like to say I don't have all the answers. If I was so damn smart, I wouldn't still be a boat captain.
Yeah,
that was the start there.
Same.
Yeah, but I really like anything that you can do along the lines of, well, public accounting is, people have no idea what's about to happen to accountants. They really don't. That they're about to get inundated. This whole system is going to a blockchain system to where all the numbers you're not going to be able to lie about anymore. You're not going to be able to cheat and do this. It's all going to be AI and the rest of it. So that's why for years now I've been looking for the right trust, because you're way better off getting outside of the door, outside of the system while that war is happening. Because the public, that second line on that 1040 exam says, do you own crypto? And, it's incriminating to go either way, yes or no. But that side of the industry is going to blow up. They're going to traditionalize it in the sense that H&R Block will have to triple the amount of people they have just that know what a crypto is. Not that you want to work there. I'm just saying, if you know anything about how that would work, or institutionalized accounting or investments, you're going. The other thing is, way more about crypto than you think you do. So Brent and I talked about this, I don't know how many years ago, Brent, that I can see a day when I told him this 4 or 5 years ago, I guess. I can see a day where you're going to be on mainstream TV discussing crypto. like
Yeah.
because you were one of the originators or you're one of the people that were in on the beginning. And what you're doing is you're not empowering yourself and by saying, "Oh, that's for the Alan's the expert or whoever. Brad Kimes is the expert." No, no, no. You probably know more about it than I do in a lot of ways. What, in particular, your favorite coin. You need to empower yourself. You need to say, "I know a lot about this subject. Where can I go with it? Who?" And stop talking to your family because they're deaf. They can't hear you. They
Yeah.
sorry.
True.
And I cannot teach my
Trust
wife
us on that.
much, you know, and that's just how it is. But people who, when this wave flips and it starts coming in, and all the institutions are going to be the big authorities in it, although they don't know what they're talking about in the beginning, they're going to be the big authority. The public's going to want to go to them. But what you need to do is place yourself in those shoes as best you can,
Mhm.
because you're the authority. You know way more than these institutions do about your favorite coins. Final idea as far as getting out ahead of something and trying being in the crypto business.
Mhm.
Social media hasn't even begun for crypto yet. I know you know all the channels. You think all our channels are popular. Yeah, you think all that. No, 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 no. See, the day when there's going to come a day when there's going to be 20 to 30 of the top shows are not going to be CNBC or Bloomberg. They're going to be a crypto show,
Yeah.
just like Bloomberg, only not Bloomberg, because you fools lied about Bitcoin, crypto for 15 years. And
Mhm.
the public who listens to Bloomberg is done. Those people are old. They're my age and they're dying off. And I think it's, I don't know, whatever it is, 3,000 baby boomers a day die or whatever it is. No, yeah, 3,000 a day, I think it is. Those people are the only people that listen to Bloomberg. So there's going to be new channels coming up that want to talk what's going on in Robinhood, what's going on with, GameStop, what's going on with the top 20 crypto. And here's the new hot show to watch. And it's not going to be just a YouTube channel. It's going to be like a commercialized YouTube channel. And it's going to be on every platform. And it's not too late for you to be a guest host on those shows. You're just going to be. If you've got any charisma at all and you can stick a camera in your face and you can be confident and you do it enough times, people are going to seek you out. I'm a
We
perfect example.
mhm.
Yeah,
We discussed this very thing with Bitcoin then, and
that's right. We did.
his whole vision was to he was kind of mom and pop shop. So you set up your own shop somewhere and people can walk in and buy Bitcoin on your ATM machine that you've bought or leased, and you can be their counselor in it. You can walk them through the
Right.
steps of like, hey, here's blockchain in 15 minutes. What's your questions?
Yeah.
Um, and then on top of that, he's like what Dad's talking about is a network of shows. Like 6:30, you've got the crew. 7 o'clock, you've got Zach come on. 7:30, you've got so and so, so and so. And I'm with you, Dad. Like, is there anywhere on television that you can see anything like this now? No. Are
Yeah.
you Mad Money, Bloomberg? Like,
Yeah.
no crypto to be found on there, people. None.
No.
Zero.
No
And
crypto for you.
and with the news that's happened this year, that is crazy to me. That it is a
Yeah.
disservice. They're doing a
Yes,
disservice
sir.
to the people, clearly. And
Well put.
we
That's
do not
exactly
want
what
to.
it is.
We are not those people.
Yeah.
We are. We are. The dream is to empower others because
Yeah.
that you create a community and it benefits yourself. That's why, like, another career choice, right, is become a YouTuber and talk about all this stuff like we have.
It is. Yeah. And
And
you think it's
and it's
saturated.
tough
It's
to
not.
get going. I mean, we're going on 3 years of as I like to call, sacrifice to keep this that feeling, that thought. The crew knows it. The crew actually, we've built trust with everybody because we're really doing these things. We're really into it, and we love people, and we want a community. Like, that's the dream has already been fulfilled in what we really wanted to do with this. And
Yeah.
so now it's like, yes, what's the business side? What's the opportunity? How do we
Yeah.
capitalize on that? How do we empower all of you in it? You know, not just sharing the information, but someday when we need support or staff, or, you know, the people that we're partnering with, you know, need someone like you.
Yeah.
And so, and the first thing that came up in my head, Vincent, for the future and business ideas was tokenization. A lot of us aren't born to be coders, but
That's right.
there's a lot of us who are accountants and advisors and do understand tax stuff. And when real world assets start to become tokenized all over the planet, everything, there's just going to be, again, a crap ton of opportunity in ways that we haven't even thought of yet, that
Yeah.
none of us thought of or discussed. There'll be crypto TV channels, and there'll be, who even knows? Because
Yeah.
it's gonna be that big.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
gonna,
yeah. It will. And what's happening is there's an evolution going on in social media. All you need to do is, I was laughing the other day. I was just kind of flipping through my phone, and I know it was only 4 or 5 hours after the video was posted, but CNBC had posted a video of the female candidate for president, and it only had 4,500 views. And I was like, my video got that many views,
yeah.
right? Like, I know it probably had 20,000 by the next day. But the point of the matter is, that form of media, those people that are listening to that, well, let's just call it what it really is. That it's inaccurate information, most of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that lamestream media thing that you and I have been complaining about for the last 10 or 20 years is being pointed out, correctly being pointed out. I don't know if you guys caught it the other day, but when Kennedy was trying to endorse Trump on CNN, they shut his mic off and started talking over him when he was talking about the corruption in the media.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't fall. I mean, you got to remember, all the people that are in the middle that don't like Trump, but they don't like Harris, they're in the middle thinking we need a third party, are saying
Mm-hmm.
to themselves, they just shut off my candidate.
Yeah.
Like, they just keep shooting themselves in the foot. So
Mm-hmm.
what I mean by saying all that is this: people don't go to the media for their information anymore. They go for their favorite YouTube channels, your Joe Rogan or somebody. It's like, well, hey, Joe Rogan's got somebody interesting on, I'll listen to it.
Yeah.
Because there's no, not always the case, but there's no payment. They're not being paid to say the words in which they're saying,
Mm-hmm.
right? Nobody pays me to say the words that I say. And that's empowering people. Whether you like the words I say or what your other channels say is irrelevant. The fact that nobody's paying them to say it is very important,
Yeah.
right? Very important to all of us going forward. So, social media forms of entertainment, I would get all over it, either helping produce it, helping or finding. Here's the other thing I would say. This is the last thing and probably the most important thing. If you have a small company and you don't know anything about AI, you have to hire someone who does.
Yeah.
And if you would like to be profitable in any form of any business or labor or anything or writing or producing of anything going forward, you better study AI. Now, the key to AI, in my opinion, is finding a way to keep Allen, but using the tools of AI to produce it as best you can. That's the niche right there. And after saying that, I have to say this other thing. We have, in the last 2 weeks, found 2 fake channels that is
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be us.
Yeah.
2 on Twitter, 1 on YouTube, who are giving people advice to download their wallets. Like, come on, man. And you know what? I'm not trying to say
Mm.
the companies that run this platform are involved, but they've done a horrible job of eliminating it. I can tell you that. They've done a horrible job. It's not that hard, to figure out what a real channel is and what isn't. If I
Mm-hmm.
say 2 words that I'm not supposed to say, of the 10 words I'm not allowed to say on YouTube, my channel gets shut down.
Yeah.
But they can't find a bot that's ripping people off. Like, wait a minute, man. I don't know. That doesn't ring a bell with me. Yeah.
We're getting
So those
attacked.
are, yeah, I
We're
don't have
getting
any
attacked.
magical ideas on making $1 million coming up, but that's where crypto business is headed. All of those things for sure.
Managing what you have. Being
Helping people
good.
manage what they own. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big. Really
Yep.
big. Yeah.
Great question, Wayne. What can we do about that? We delete a ton of the comments and like false flag people who post on the comments. I mean, that's kind of number one,
Uh-huh.
because pretty much every video will get 7 comments in a row that's like, hey dude, check out this video, check out this coin that nobody knows about. And it's usually just a link to somebody's site, and it's bad. It's bad. And so we can come on here and be honest with all of you. It's like, you need to know when you're talking to Alan and Brent or not,
Right.
and you've got our email and you got us on here and we're going to do meetups with you. The only time we're ever asking anybody for anything, it ain't even going to be that. It's going to be like, we're in the same room together and it's like, dude, I got a bunch of this coin here. Let me send it to you.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's Alan and Brent. That's
Yeah.
do not engage us online. That's outside of ideas. That is the best thing that we can do, is just teach all of you that about the nature of that kind of attack on us, on our channel, all of us.
It's so disheartening because I've been catfished, or whatever you want to call it. Well, my wife and I have a couple times, back in the early days of crypto. And man, to think that somebody, lost a percentage of their life savings to that is just, man, I can't even go there. Mentally, I can't go there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got Todd and Bunny in the house. What?
Yeah. What's up, T?
Love those two. If you guys ever get a chance to meet that couple, talk about your power couple. Those two right there is about all you need to know about good people in this planet.
Yeah, I can't wait to kick it more with them.
I want to address, this might take another hour for me to explain, but I want to address it. I'm getting
Get it, Captain.
I'm getting cramped up in the cab of this thing, but I got to be in at 6 hours tomorrow. I saw a question from Mike. Sorry, didn't mean to out you there, brother. A crypto professor. And it was about ISO. And did I believe it was the deal, or whether it's going forward, something along those lines. Yes, I do. I don't even think that's in question. That's the system, a system that has been adopted. It's going to happen. and there's a form or a group of central banking people that are going to use that system. Period. That's what they're going to use. That's in the books. It's coming. Let's see, I had this debate with somebody the other day. I can't remember who it was, and he was saying November 25, and I was saying January 26. Now, does that mean we have to wait for that long for XRP to be profitable? No, that's not what that means. That means that that's when all the systems connected to all the banks using that system will be up and running and live, and the whole world will know they're on it. That's that day. What's happening now is the integration of it is sort of like beta testing. It's slower, and then they add more, and they add more, and they add more. But when you think about, you don't turn on a light switch of the internet of the banking institutions of the world. That's never a good idea. It has to be backup on top of backup on top of backup, and you have to take it off in bite-sized pieces. And that's why we knew it would take about 3 years to 4 years to integrate. And that's where we're at. We're in the process of integrating all these central banking systems. Swift is done. We already know it's done. We also know that this is going to be there's two things that I love about Bitcoin and XRP, and they both are similar in some ways. What I love about Bitcoin is no nation tells it or moves it or changes it or rug pulls it. I know there's a lot of people that might think they can. They can't. In my opinion, I don't know. I feel the same way about XRP. It's that coin that everybody's going to have enough self-assurance in it, because whether it's ISO compliant, which we already know it is, it's going to be used in that fashion, in that manner, but everybody's going to see it as this inanimate object that cannot be persuaded or controlled. But what's really its biggest benefit to that system is that neutrality of it, but it's that instant liquidity, that limited liquidity that the world has needed forever. Because the thing of it is we all know we're good for it, right? If you're doing business with, I don't know, a person or a company, you should be able to, on chain, it's simply within seconds, be able to look and see whether or not they're good for it. It shouldn't take your bean counters talking to their bean counters to fund the thing and have the check held for 10 days to decide whether or not you can do a future project. Because by the time that 10 days has come by, somebody who's on blockchain who actually have those assets and pumped it into the deal's done by the 10 days. And everybody knows that's where we're going. So if the deal's hot and all the partners are ready and the smart contract parameters are met at those times, and those smart contracts trigger, boom, 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 all needs are met that were required. Ticket, boom. That could take an hour, maybe. It could maybe take you an hour to buy the Empire State Building. I don't know, whatever. A fleet of ships in an hour. That's where we're going, because you need the neutral money and you need a network big enough to handle everybody's banks. Who else is doing that? ISO is doing that. And we know what coins those all are. And if you want any one of them, you're in. You're in, man. It's yeah. You're
that is so well said.
You're part of it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we have. Oh, are they talking about Caleb and Brown?
Zip was asking us, what are when you decide to sell some coins, what exchanges are best in your opinion, if any? I haven't used them personally yet, but it seems like the consensus in our group has been Caleb and Brown. How do you feel about them, Dad, in the future with all of this?
Yes, Caleb and Brown. Your coins are guaranteed. Your coins are guaranteed to the dollar amount. And you can complain that, oh, that's just not good enough. Well, look, the day the thing failed, like if somebody corrupted and stole everybody's coins at Caleb and Brown, like, I mean, that was the day that it shot up 20%, then it might be an issue for you. But that's not likely, right? So if that were to occur, you could get the cash and get right back into the coins. That's, I don't know. There's no wallet in the world that's going to guarantee you anything. That's the only wallet I know of that guarantees your money back.
Yeah.
That's huge, guys. For a lot of people that don't want to sit around and play around with wallets and, send $1 first and then all the rest of that's where I would go. But that's me. They don't pay me to say that, by the way. I've been in negotiation with those guys because they keep trying to want. Evidently, a lot of people from our channel have gone there and said, "Yeah, man, I heard about you on, the Staple Crew," and they're like, "Who's this Staple Crew again?" So, I scheduled 3 meetings with it last week, and we never got it done. So I'm supposed to have something this coming week, but that'll just be a link where you can get a discount. But you can get a discount from almost anybody, I think. I don't like to promote anybody because you never know when somebody's gonna. You promote somebody, you don't know who they are. I have no idea. I mean, I have a Link2 account. I really like Link2. I think if you got a 401k and you want to keep your 401k and you want to put it into crypto and silver, I think Link2 is great. Could they fail tomorrow? Yeah. I mean, how would Alan know that? I don't know. I just don't like to be accountable for other people's mistakes. It's very difficult. Well, I think what you and I have here in this stream is more important to me than a couple of bucks they might send me for every one of you that go there. It's not worth it to me, And I kind of always.
I hear you say it about all the different things we're working on, Dad. And that is true, everybody. It's if Brent and Alan can't handle it, or we're not the right mind, voice person to set you up on whatever it is you're interested in or getting set up, we'll just throw you at the agent that we trust. Like that's gonna be just like the Caleb and Brown. It's like part of it too is like, you've used them, Dad. And with the other exchanges, like, I mean, ease of use is great with Coinbase and Uphold and all the others. Like, so easy to use, so easy to do. But the advantages, like Sean dug into it too here with Caleb and Brown. He asked him, the coins are insured to the coin, not just the dollar amount. I specifically asked about that. You get your coins back if stolen. When you have agency that is going to back you, pretty huge. And just like you were just saying, Dad, those exchanges could fail. Those we've seen exchanges fail in the last 10 years, all of us. So
that's right.
Where are you going to have it? Who do you trust? Is there a face behind it that you can actually talk to and exchange ideas with and get the real story? And I'm sure there are those networks with those other exchanges, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm going to be looking at Caleb and Brown first.
Yeah. For buying and selling, I like them a lot. Yeah. And like Wayne says, cold storage. That's what you got to do. Yeah. But anyway, that's again, I don't want to give too much financial advice because it's your finances. You're the one who bought the coin. But I could tell you that I've known about Caleb and Brown a long time. 17, I want to say. I first heard about him. And I don't know anybody that said, "Oh man, don't do that." I do know a guy that lost money with it, and they lost coins. And he went to the XRP show and he called him out, and they were like, "Oh man, we feel so bad about what happened to you." But that was an instant where somebody got a hold of the guy's social security number. They got a hold of his password. I mean, they got all, and it wasn't Caleb through Caleb. It was Caleb happened to be one of the accounts that they got into from. And they were like, "Wow, trust me, that can't happen anymore any longer." So they learned a big lesson. So we learn through trial and error. That's all. You don't know you're vulnerable to something until something happens to you, and then you're like, "Oh man, I should have thought of that." So the person that was violated, if you will, was very sincere about the fact. I was like, "Well, I was kind of open door there, so it wasn't I'm not blaming everybody around me, but it would have been great if they'd had this in place or that in place, and they didn't. But they do now." Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Truth. It ain't financial advice, it's an opinion, and each of us is sciencing it for ourselves and trying to find those firewalls and protect our assets. And that is our future with crypto and all the other things that we do and learn and implement is to protect that and to firewall it.
Yeah.
And we need your ideas. We need your opinions on it. Because we could miss something that's really great and a really great opportunity, and we don't want to do that. It's why I praise Simon so much too, not just because I love the guy, but he's constantly looking for stuff. He's constantly creative, and it's just it's refreshing to work with someone like that and be friends with someone like that.
Yeah.
And I really value his opinion on stuff. And so
for sure.
Yeah, we love having that with all of you too. Like the blessing in this kind of thing.
Pretty fun.
Yeah. It's pretty darn good.
When you're a young man and you live your life and you always think to yourself, why can't people do business the way I appreciate? And then you're like, well, because it's not as profitable, and you got to worry about the bottom line all the time, And then you come along with an idea about a YouTube channel, and then it starts to do pretty well, and then people start to like your presentation or your wisdom that's coming to them. And then you say to yourself, well, I have an opportunity to make a ton of money. And then you're like, oh, so I'm going to be like the rest of the people the last 40 years that I didn't care much about or for. And I always wondered why they felt like they needed to do business that way.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully, it's happened to me later in life to when I understand there is no lack on this planet. There is no lack. The only lack is your perception of life and its lacking views. So when you get that, you're saying, okay, well, I don't need to make money off of every transaction, every thought, every syllable I say. I don't need to do that. It'll come to me. I don't know when it's going to come, and I don't know what door is going to open up. And you're cruising along and you got a YouTube channel, and the next thing you know, this brilliant book comes your way, and you're like, oh my God, now I know why I have a YouTube channel. Because I want to empower people to become a bank. We've been saying be your own bank with Bitcoin since day one. But it's a statement. It's not accurate necessarily. You're not really being a bank. You're being a bank account. A savings account is what basically Bitcoin is, right? But it's not really a loaning process, and it's not an interest rate, and it's not all those things that this book teaches us all to be. And then you're like, wow, man, this is so powerful. Oh, now I get it. I'm supposed to teach people how to use money, how to create money, with their own money. All that great concept that was in Robert Kiyosaki's book that he forgot to put in the chapter of how to do the damn thing. Great, dude. It's the number one selling book in the history of economics, and it doesn't give us a game plan. Thanks, coach. We're all running around the field bitching about the system and the money system, and stop listening to my poor dad and listen to my rich dad. Well, dude, where's your game? Where's your strategy?
Mm-hmm.
You listen to his show, still he doesn't have a strategy. Buy
No,
gold, buy silver, buy Bitcoin. Well,
going with
that
the
is,
wind.
it's bigger than that, man. Come on. So this old guy comes along and writes this incredible, powerful book, and then you apply it to your crypto mind, where money's going and the use case of money, and you use it with that system, and then you put that system inside of a trust, and you become this fortress
Yeah.
of financial knowledge and institutional creation of security. But it's just you. You're the company. You're the corporation. You're the man. And you get to walk around this planet freely the way you were born to be. The power and all the rights that God gave you, you get to get back again. What a
Yeah.
concept. It's just like, wow. Love it. I'm just having so much fun, guys. This is like, this is going to be good, guys. You guys are going to love where this whole thing's going.
Yeah.
Um,
I love where it's going.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
just summed up what my dad just said, just summed up where it's going. Where
Who's
we
that?
want to take this. And it's this book, strategy book. This, folks,
Yeah.
even over
Yeah.
crypto, in my mind.
That's right.
This
That's
is
right.
this is my retirement plan right here. Not my 401k, not my crypto. This is strategy. This is the
Yeah.
plan. And what you were saying, Dad, about how to reinforce it through
That's right.
a trust, and not getting taxed is making money in my mind.
A lot of money.
That money's out the door. We don't want to see that happen to any of us.
And another point to that is you're not promoting tyranny, because depending on how loyal all of us would like to be, that we'd like to believe that the people that run our nations, whatever nation you live in, has a benevolent soul or well-being for mankind. They've proven to us thousands of times over they'd rather shoot bullets than negotiate a non-war. And I can't get down with that. I'm sorry. I can't.
Never.
I'd rather not financially support that if legally possible.
Yes.
So, call me a whatever. That's unpatriotic or whatever. No, I think it's very patriotic to do exactly what our forefathers did, which was rebel against the Queen and her system, and originally, and write our Constitution, and told us all that this tyranny was coming when they created the Republic. They said this is going to come because these lawyers are going to abuse the rights, and they're going to, using the media, they're going to create tyranny with it all. Wow, look around. Gee, somebody was psychic back then, I guess.
And they had the foresight to make the Constitution amendable, because they foresaw those same attacks and tyranny.
Yeah.
It's not going away. It's not going away. You said something to me the other day, Dad, that just is stuck with me. And it's like I've mentioned management a few times today. But it was like what you were talking about with Social Security. Now it's like what 1.4 trillion is owed. Just think of like when you're not willing to negotiate peace on the table, and when basically, like in this country, like Social Security is like your 401k. Everyone have to pay into it. Like that is something that should actually be guaranteed on the other end. Period. Guaranteed. Like it's technically ours, right?
Right.
And when that is attacked, and when that is indebted, and when that could potentially not be available, it just sings of poor management. And you know, the politicians and the officials and the people who are managing all of this I don't
Yeah.
want to see it. I don't want to see it for my nieces. I don't want tyranny in this world. I don't want to support it.
Yeah.
And you know, getting into things like this and technology like this and managing it well for ourselves is going to be a shining light. It's going to be
Yeah.
an example of
Yeah.
how do we get away from it and help others around us get away from it.
Right.
And
Think
I'm
about this.
excited.
If okay, I forget the other moron's name, but who's the leader of Ukraine? Anyway,
Uh, forget.
Zelensky? No, that isn't it. Anyway,
Mhm.
okay. If Putin, Biden, and that guy never bothered to get in the same room, Zelensky, yeah, okay. They never bothered to get in the same room together. It was, just beyond them to actually sit down and iron out a peace deal, right?
Mhm.
So, can you say that they actually have compassion for the soldiers? They
No.
couldn't bother themselves to take the time from their busy schedule. I'm sure Biden was missing naps or three. But like, you cannot tell me that you did everything you possibly could to prevent bullets from flying. You're lying.
Yeah,
You're
you're a
lying
liar.
to the people of the world. As the negotiations aren't that difficult. You know why I know that negotiations aren't difficult? Because when I have a problem at a store, I work it out with the store. I don't go in there shooting it. You don't go in with a gun shooting the place up because you couldn't negotiate a deal with a business or a contract or a postal worker or a UPS driver or whatever it might be. You weren't allowed to just resort to a weapon. When you're allowed to resort to a weapon, you have no need to listen. Why
Right.
would you listen to anything? I'll just push an army towards you. This has to end. It won't, but it won't because man is, for some reason, decide that we're not powerful or wise enough or emotionally or spiritually strong enough to rule ourselves. We need others to do it for us. And sadly, that's how we look at it. Yeah.
We allow ourselves to be divided by ideas, to divide ourselves against all of our brothers and sisters walking around on this planet. I
Yep.
don't care where you come from. I don't care what country you live
Right.
in. I don't care what you look like. I don't care.
Yeah.
And that is one of my favorite things about myself. That is the one thing that is like, I will always step up and give the stranger the time of day. And that's that's how you negotiate peace. That's how you do business. That's
Yeah.
it is the ABCs. That is humanity 101.
That's it.
And when you can't be bothered to listen and you order other people to attack each other, or you promote it on television, or as
Yeah.
Travis said, television, you are not doing a service to the people. You are not. And it's unacceptable. It is.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit around and talk about morality all day, but that there's some inherent things in this world, and this is an amazing world, and people are amazing,
Yeah.
and we all get to experience all this journey together. We want to duke it out in wars and debt and let the tyranny continue to win for another couple centuries. I don't think
Yeah.
that's what people really want. I
Yeah.
don't.
I think one of the most important things in the early years of our schooling should be compassion. We need to we need to teach compassion for your fellow man. That's how you end racism. That's how you end all of that, is being compassionate for every human being your brother or sister. Period. It's very
Yeah.
simple. And I know there's a lot of, psychopaths out there, and they're not going to conform to that. And I understand that. But it sure makes them easier to pick out of a crowd. You know what I'm saying? We can sort of find a place for those people. Yeah. Because the rest
Mhm.
of us really just want to live our lives. And like I like to say, you just want a roof over your head and a cold beer and your kids playing out in the street. And that's all we really want. And that has nothing to do with politics. What we really want has nothing to do with politics, and has nothing to do with our differences from nation to nation either. That's typically either land grab, religious beliefs, or flat out control or possession of what some other country may or may not own. So if you have compassion for the people, you would negotiate a way for it to be prosperous, for them to sell you the goods in which they have. So I don't know, it seems simple to me, but like I like to say, I could pick out, I could replace Congress. We don't have phone books anymore, but like I could pick 500 names out of a phone book and they'd do a better job than Congress would,
Yeah.
because they would care about what people do.
Yeah.
They would care about lives.
Hmm.
You'd end up with librarians and nurses and teachers and truck drivers, and they would go, well, that doesn't make any sense. Well, why? Well, because it wouldn't be good for our kids and the roof over my head. Let's not pass that one. It'd be real simple, but
It's why we have juries. There's a
yeah,
lot of incentive to just pull somebody off of the street and throw them in Congress.
yeah,
You kind of eliminate that known
yeah,
backdoor deal. This is the way that my constituents and my my lobbyists and the people who are paying me want me to go. If we can get rid of that in politics, so it's why I wanted different nominees, man. It's why I want young people who care,
yeah. I
younger
really
than
like
me.
I really like Kennedy because he's exposing the lies.
Yeah,
I personally thought the best ticket would have been Kennedy Trump, in that order.
yeah.
Trump probably would have never went for that, but or Trump Kennedy would have been a great ticket. But
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't.
I
I
don't
it
know.
That's only because I don't know anything about Kamala, or however she wants to pronounce her name this week. I don't really know anything about her. I don't know anything about any of them, and I know they don't have any answers. They don't have the answers that we just discussed. So
Yeah,
yeah, and they're beholding the people that don't want those answers. So that's part of the problem. Yeah. Anyway, enough about politics.
yeah. Let's get out of there.
I'm going to tell this somebody. I think it was Liam Win Lambo.
Yeah,
As soon as you got the cash,
wear bull, win
yeah,
Lambo.
Win Lambo. As soon as you got the money, they sell them.
Yeah, they do. They do.
um, I prefer 911s myself. More of a Porsche guy, but yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
Hmm.
Lambo, sure.
Just the
McLaren,
handling.
yeah,
Mm, mm,
yeah.
mm.
I need to get going. I'm getting
Yeah, let's shout out the crew real quick, Dad, and then let's get out of here.
yeah.
Hey, uh, listening while driving. What's up, Crypto AI? Uh, Lisa,
Northern.
sorry you just got in and we're bailing. Um,
She was in
uh,
earlier when we first started, I thought. Anyway,
yeah.
uh, don't think I haven't noticed all your hilarious comments there, Northern Living. Well, I read them. I saw all of them,
Mhm.
and they were hilarious. And one of these days, now we're not going to bring it up. We're just going to do it one day. Crawfish was in the house the whole time, didn't even say anything. What? Well,
That's
we
a
don't
first.
we, we don't have a show without that. What are you
Brent,
guys thinking?
Brent, where are you, man?
Yeah,
Yo, the other B man.
yeah, yeah. Lambo next year. I'm good with that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
I could sport a 911 or two. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Life
Where
with
I
Blue,
live, the mountain.
much love.
I'm actually, for a different reason than political or green or anything else. I'm going to get a Tesla. It looks like, because
What?
where I live is the sunniest place on the planet, and I got a ton of solar, and I don't know where to put it. I don't know where to put the electricity,
Yeah,
and they're
they're
fun
cool.
to drive. So,
They're my best friend's own one. It's a really cool car.
do you imagine
Really,
just blowing up to the park and back in that thing, Brent? Just
dude.
I can't. Like, it's so. I'm going to go over the math real quick that hit me.
Hmm.
To go to town and come back is a quarter tank for me of gas. Just do the
Wow.
math on that, guys. You're a quarter tank down before you've even done anything with your life, with your vehicle. It's just like, wow, man, what am I doing? And I have my batteries are full in my solar system by 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I sit at 100% for 5 hours. And it just makes sense to just plug my car in every day and put the solar energy right into it. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a
No,
no brainer for me.
yeah, it
Yeah.
makes some sense for you.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I'm excited about it. And they're fun to drive. So what else? Yeah. And Elon, man, I like the guy. I wasn't so sure about the guy in the beginning, but I like him a lot. I
Hell
think
yeah.
he cares about the world. I do. I know he's got a bunch of crazy stuff and chips in the brain and all that stuff. Whatever, you know, that
Yeah.
resonates with you. It's all good. Yeah.
Innovators
Yes.
innovate.
By the way, you're right, Professor. Solar Sam is the real deal. One of the great people of our community. I have to tell you guys, wait till you all meet each other. What I want to do, this has already crossed my mind since Florida. The ones that are going to XRP show,
Mhm.
I did a Thursday night party before the show last year. I'm going to do another one this year, but I
Mhm.
really just want it to be the staple crew. I don't. I mean, that's okay if other people show up, other content provider or whoever. I don't want to
Yeah.
exclude anybody, but I really want it to be our group because the energy at that party and the energy at the weekend, telling it's pure compassion, guys. It's pure love.
Yeah.
And it's palpable. You can feel it in the room. And when you are part of that, you want it again and again and again. And it's not lost on my son and I, the power of energy that we all have within us, and you all have it within you. And when energies come together, you become bigger than the room. And my son and I have proved that to each other in multiple rooms that we've been in, with energy forces that are unbelievable. And it's something I want to share with everybody, and I want you guys to be around. And it's so much fun. So yeah,
More meetups to come.
Beeman, we got to get out of here. That's what we got to do.
Yeah, we covered a few topics there. We shook the pillars of heaven on this.
We did. Yes. Yes.
Love it.
Huh?
Love the
Yeah.
comments too, everybody. Your energy today was off the hook.
Good
Love the chat
comments.
today. Oh my god. I just want to
Okay.
hang out with you guys in Vegas. Like, if all of you can come and be in Vegas, energy
Todd.
off the charts.
Yeah. Todd, I really want to talk to you and Bonnie one of these days here real soon. Okay. Oh, Brent, we almost forgot. Those two might want to know about this. We're doing a meetup in 2 weekends, right?
Yeah.
In San Luis Obispo.
We're gonna meet up with Pete and his son.
Peter Lind.
Yeah, he was at XRP Vegas. Just super guy. Super guy. Same with his son.
And we also have
we'll get with you, Todd.
Yeah, that's not too far for them. They may want to come. We're just going to do like dinner, maybe if you get there early enough, like a lunch or dinner, and then breakfast the next morning. So we're doing it on a Sunday and then leaving Sunday and then Monday morning. Is that right, Brent?
Yeah.
It's not this coming weekend, is the next. So 2 weeks from today. We are going to do that in Central California. If any of you live anywhere near Central California, you may want to look into it. We'll talk more about it again next Sunday, obviously, but I'm going to talk about it on a couple of shows this week. One other thing. We have a couple of people in SLO, don't we, Brent? Real close. We need to get a hold of them.
We do. Okay. I got their number.
Cool. Okay, guys, it's been great. Anyway.
Man, I love you guys. Thank you.
Hoofty. Yeah, everybody have a good week. And I will be, I got a couple of videos coming out. A couple of good ones. I know I say that about all of them.
Yeah. I like them all.
Okay, guys. Thank you for being part of what we're doing here. It's all good fun and better fun to come. Yep.
Let's keep sharing the big ideas.
Okay,
Much
B-man.
love, everybody. Love you, Dad.